At the highest, most idealistic level, I think the power of working genius lies in our ability to mitigate and maybe eliminate in our teams, in our working environments, even our families, two destructive qualities. One is unnecessary guilt and judgment of others. Let me explain what I mean by that. When we don't know what our working geniuses are, or for that matter, our working competencies and frustrations, we will often feel guilty about what we're not good at, thinking that there is something wrong with us. It might even lead us to try to work excessively on those things rather than celebrating and leaning into our geniuses. So often people say, I've always felt bad that I wasn't good at that. I finally realized what my geniuses and my frustrations are, and now I can accept that that's just how God made me. That's not an excuse for never doing the things that we don't love, but it is a great reason to move into doing and focusing on what we do love and find worthwhile. Judgment is a real dangerous thing in an organization or on a team, and that is caused when we don't understand other people and when we see that they're not particularly good at something and we judge them as having a defect because we don't understand how they're made. And when we understand another person's working genius, rather than judge them as having a defect, we again understand that this is how they're put together. Okay, when I was in college, I learned something that explained this well. It was called the fundamental attribution error. It's one of the few things I remember from college that I use on a regular basis. And it goes like this. When a person does something that we find annoying, we will tend to judge their character, make an internal attribution. When we do something that others find annoying, we will attribute it to our environment. We give ourselves the benefit of the doubt, but not others. If you're on the freeway and somebody cuts you off in traffic, you tend to think, what a rude person. They would probably be very unpleasant to live with or to work with. Then we cut somebody off in traffic, we've all done it, and we think, oh, I'm just stressed today, or I didn't see them, or I'm in a hurry, I'm sorry. So what we need to do is understand others. St. Francis once said, seek to understand more than to be understood. Well, to understand somebody, especially in a working environment, is to know what their working geniuses are and their competencies and their frustrations. When we do that, we are going to avoid judging them unfairly, and we're going to avoid looking at ourselves wrong and feeling guilt. For instance, my two working frustrations are enablement and tenacity. Now, for years, I felt bad about this. I'm just not good at volunteering to help people in exactly what they want. When people ask me for help, I like to use my geniuses of invention and discernment. So I would feel guilty, like, why am I not like some of my friends who know how to do just what other people need? And on tenacity, I don't like to finish things. I really don't. I really need an editor to make me finish my books because I lose interest after a while. I felt guilty about that for years. I know that I need to get a little better at that, but more importantly, I know I'm not wired for that. I need to invite other people to help me in those areas. That allows me to avoid guilt. Now, when it comes to judging others, one of the best things about working genius is we've heard so many stories of people who are going to get fired from their job, even though they were good team players, but they just weren't being successful, and they figured out what their working geniuses are, changed the nature of their work, the people were able to thrive. So rather than judging, we were understanding and making adjustments. I love the working genius probably most of all because it helps us avoid unnecessary guilt and judgment, and I hope that you find it to do the same.